guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Champion Guides. Welcome to the video, guys. Hopefully it finds you all doing well. Today, it's going to be a good one. We're going to talk about another campaign farmable rare, none other than Graybeard. Before that, guys, we get a double time chance. I'm sitting on a few ancient shards I want to get rid of. Quick impromptu shard opening to kick off today's video, today's champion guide. We get an old Gruckus. If you want to see any of these champions reviewed here on the channel, go ahead and let me know. We get a Caden, Odishai, who's a really cool rare. We get Marked, who's a really good rare as well. So a lot of opportunities to do a great guy. Oh, we get a Lego. We get Nethril. Hey, might as well. A Candle Guard, an Allure, a Galek, Diabolus, Shatterbones, and Gravechill Killer. Hey, Nethril, what's up, man? He's got a triple hitter with a poison on the A1. We got an AoE with a stun, decreased speed. If they're not under stun on a 4-turn cooldown, A2, and then Bat Swarm, 4-turn cooldown, decreased turn meter by 75%. A great control champion and poisoner on his A1. Allure, the queen of control. Diabolus, another campaign farmable champion that we can do a review on soon here on the channel. You know what? I don't know. Let's just keep going with the impromptu. Hopefully you guys don't. Hopefully you guys don't mind. I know it's a little bit of clickbait, right? You clicked on for a guide and you're getting a shard opening. But no, we will go to the guide as soon as we open these 4 shards. Crazier things have happened. We just reset our mercy on Nethril, which again is definitely not a bad champion at all. So that's pretty cool. We can probably, he is a dupe, so we can probably, Wuji is another champion that I'm really interested in doing a guide on. Attack all enemies instead of one when counterattacking, and then has the counterattack on the A3. Very interesting kit. I have not built her, but I want to. So let me know if you want to see her as well. Oh! Dude, the perfect poll. I ran a community tab poll. I accidentally fed Shadow Bill Turlac, and you guys really want to see a guide on him. You voted to see a guide on him. So now I have him back, and he will be the next rare that I review here on the channel. 100% guaranteed. All right, cool. Well, you know what? That was actually really fun. Skull Crusher, welcome to the squad. Skull Crusher guide coming soon as well. Today, though, as we mentioned, getting back to the point of the video, it's going to be all about Graybeard. Now, Graybeard is a campaign farmable rare champion, just like we spoke about with Executioner, available in stage 11 a few days ago here on the channel. We're going to go ahead and talk about the benefits of a campaign farmable champion. Obviously, well, you can farm them in campaign, so guarantee that you'll eventually get them. Once you do get your hands on Graybeard, if you like him, if you like his kit, if you think he'll benefit you, which we'll review why you might like him in today's video, then you can just keep farming. Instead of farming 12-3 to level up your food, to level up your champions, you can just farm 4-3 to get more dupes of Graybeard and use the dupes to book him out and save your rare skill tomes, which are actually, forgive the pun, but rare. They're very rare in this game to get any skill tomes. So anyway, what does this dude do? Attacks one enemy, has a 70% chance when booked of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn on exposed weakness. Already that makes him a great provoker for the Magma Dragon in Doom Tower. Unfortunately, that cycle is not live right now, so I can't show you that. Obviously, we need accuracy to land that provoke, but that's a very high provoke on an A1 ability. On the A2, now, oddly enough, he's a defense-based champion, but his A1 scales on attack. I don't know why they do that, but either way, it's okay. 3-turn cooldown here, Ice Crush. An AoE, we have a 40% chance of placing a freeze damage inflicted proportional to defense, which you just spoke about. So that's a 40% AoE freeze on a 3-turn cooldown. That's about as good as you're going to get for a rare champion in this game, and it's a pretty solid control ability. And then Bring It On, his A3 ability on a 4-turn cooldown, place a shield buff on this champion, has a 100% chance of placing a counterattack on this champion for 2 turns. Ergo, more provokes on that A1 because of the counterattack on the A3. Again, remember that high chance of landing those provokes. So between the freeze, the counterattack, synergy with the provoke, he's a great control option. We also have the value of shield proportional to defense, and the buff cannot be removed. So we get a protected shield on a high percentage provoker, which is really important, again, to keep him alive, and it's based off his defense, which, you know, scales fairly well for a defense-based champion. So, as you guys can see, very interesting, very compelling champion. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we have him built, and where am I going? Why am I going to the clan here? What are you doing, Ash? Let's see. I don't think I've recently used him, but we will be using him in today's video. So, Graybeard, where are you at? Here he is. Also, I should mention, he has an aura. Defense in dungeons by 30%. 30% dungeon defense aura is hot, man. That's really, really good for the early game and the mid game of Raid Shadow Legends. Let me quickly pull up the ranking on hellhades.com. He has champion guides on every champion. He gives him a 3-star overall rating, damage okay, crowd control legendary, protection and support okay. He gives him a 3.5 on Magma Dragon. I would argue he's probably like a 4.5 on Magma Dragon. Again, a great provoker, defense-based, especially if you don't have, one of those big guns like a War Chief, right? And then other than that, he gives them pretty average scores, which I would tend to agree with. I will say, though, dungeons like Ice Golem, all the main dungeons, in the early to mid game, he's a great support champion, again, because of that aura and the control that he brings to the table. So sometimes, you're not gonna see him in Ice Golem Hard or Ice Golem 25 necessarily, but still a very viable option in the early game. Book value, to me, it's a 10 out of 10, especially considering you don't have to use your actual books on him. In terms of multipliers, we get a 4.3 average grade on the attack on A1, a 4.1 multiplier on the A2. Again, that is based on defense. So remember, his shield is also based on his defense, so keep that in mind. It is protected, which is really, really nice. So for me, guys, in terms of masteries on this champion, I would probably go with Dark Resolve. Blessings on this champion. Has a chance of blocking any freeze, provoke, or true fear debuffs whenever an enemy tries to place them on this champion. You also get the extra HP with this. You get the chance of blocking debuffs that obviously scales as well. Eventually, you can get your hands on more HP resistance and speed. That would be my choice, again, for Graybeard. In terms of artifacts, actually, let's do masteries first. In terms of masteries here, guys, we have a very kind of basic build on him for a defense/support champion. We have the offense tree. We're going down to War Master here to get that extra damage, especially against bosses. And then we go down defense tree as well. Nothing wrong at all with going support tree on this champion. If I was going to go support, since I have a reset for free, we'll go ahead and do it with you guys. Let's go defense and support and build him to be like an all-out control champion, not worry so much about the damage. The damage on Graybeard is a nice to have. It's not a required to have, okay? And we'll talk about that more when we talk about the artifacts on this champion. So let's go with Tough Skin, give him more defense, obviously. Go with Blast Proof, decrease damage received from AoE attacks by 5%. We love that for him. Increase the amount of healing and the value of shields his champion receives by 5%. Again, he has that shield on the A3. Want to take advantage of that as well. Resurgent is great from removing a random debuff when he loses 25% or more of his max HP from a single enemy's skill. We're going to go down and pick up a Delay Death as... Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and pick up Harvest Despair. We got a 60% chance of placing a leech. We can help heal our entire team as well. When we place a freeze on enemies, he has that great freeze on the A3. So let's go ahead and take advantage of that. Harvest Despair is a great mastery to have for any champion that has those CC debuffs on your team. We're going to go with Retribution. Again, counterattacking for more provokes. Once that... Excuse me, I get a little allergic when I talk about Graybeard here. So we're going to leave things where they are on the defense for now. Those are the ones that we know we want. Then we're going to go support tree, unlock a little bit of extra accuracy to help, again, land those freezes and those provokes. That's so instrumental here. We do have some basic artifact sets, so we're definitely going to pick up Lore of Steel as well. Trying to think, I can extend the duration of his counterattacks. You'll see that I also increased the value of shield buffs cast by this champion. I actually passed on that to get charge focus, but again, if you don't need the accuracy, certainly get the more out of that shield, right? So I think what I'm going to do here, guys, is go with Fearsome Presence as a tier 6 now on this champion, right? This would be, again, the non-damage build that I would prefer. Increase the chances of placing both a freeze and a provoke by 5%. Love that on this champion, right? It's going to benefit his A1 and his A2 ability. Take that freeze to a 45%. Take that provoke to an 80% on the A1. We love that. Let's see. We can bring... The sniper's not going to matter on this champion because it's immune to the freeze and the provoke, so we don't need that. We can extend the duration of nothing because, again, freezes and provokes are going to be... So we're just going to go Spirit Haste there, and then we're going to pick up Cycle of Revenge, chance at increasing turn meter, and then Delay Death. Death. Again, try to mitigate damage coming in. And I'm going to get Shadow Heal. Heals his champ by 6% of their max HP every time an enemy is healed. Occurs once per turn. So this would be, again, go with what makes sense for you, the team that you have around this champion. But I really love this. I actually like this a little bit better than the War Master build, unless I'm really, really itching for that extra damage. Maybe if I was going to use him against, again, bosses, you know, in the game. But I really still love this particular build, the second version that we showed here. Obviously, let's talk about artifacts and total stats here, stat priorities, and let's also talk a little bit about options for this champion, right? So number one is his HP is pretty low at 14.7. So we want to make sure we get it up a little bit, right? And that means going with HP on at least one accessory. I would advise you guys to do so. We'll show you what I used in just a moment here. Obviously, defense is going to be paramount on this champion, so as much as we can get. But again, don't totally neglect his HP. Speed is great because the more he's going, the more provokes and the more freezes that he can lend to the battle. And then again, accuracy is going to be instrumental to getting the full usage out of his kit. Obviously, we want to land all of those debuffs that he's bringing to the table. He's a legendary like control champion, or he has a legendary rating at least in his control, right? So what do we have for artifacts and accessories, and what would we change? So accuracy here, we have 388 on the accuracy. That's going to be more than enough in almost every scenario. So unless I'm really using him in endgame, such as like rare secret rooms on Doom Tower Hard, which I am on my account, this is why I have the accuracy this high, I could swap that out for defense or HP on the banner. Just go with what makes sense for wherever you are in the game. I have defense on the amulet, and I have HP, as I mentioned, on the ring. We don't want to totally neglect HP, and 4,000 actually makes a massive difference. We have speed on the boots. We have defense percentage on the chest. We have defense percentage on the gauntlets, and this is where I want to note that you can make this dude a little bit of a damage dealer, right? So you can take away the defense gauntlets and put crit damage on the gauntlets instead. You can even put crit damage on the amulet, or excuse me, crit rate on the gauntlets, and then you can even put crit damage on the amulet and make him into a, I would say, like a third damage dealer on your team, a support damage type dealer. So it's not going to be, you know, crazy damage, but he does have that AoE on the A2, which has fairly decent multipliers for a defense-based champion. So again, if he's staying alive all the time, you might want to think about shifting your gear to prioritize a little bit of extra damage from this champion. Obviously, we talked about it, but stat priorities are going to be defense percentage, going to be accuracy, some speed, and HP on this champion. So that's the build. I have 2 perception sets on him. I get the extra speed and accuracy, and I have a defense set on this champion as well. Mainly a PvE champion. I don't really see Graybeard in the arena. Let's go ahead and use him. I have Faction Wars open right now. All right, guys, stage 21 of Faction Wars. We have Nishak, Vermin Lord, we have Hackhorn, Smashlord, Akentum, Graybeard, and Gnarlhorn. Let's see, do I want the attack, defense, and dungeons? Do I have any other option? Speed in all battles, Akentum? Sure, let's do it. So, I'll see how this team does. I have not ran it previously, but I'm going to take it off auto here. Going to go in with Akentum's attack. Going to come in here with the... Nishak does not have to be on this team, but you guys who have Nishak, Vermin Lord, you know what I'm talking about, man. He just makes everything so much faster and easier. Such an incredible champion. We're going to come in here, try to, let's land a provoke with Gnarlhorn, who's a little bit faster. And I'm actually going to save my A3, right? We're going to save that A3, or excuse me, the A2 and the A3. We're just going to A1 there. Reason being is because we don't need to CC here at this point, right? They're all going to die when they take a turn because of all those bombs on these champions. So we can just chill for a little bit, and then we can open up with a great CC on the next wave. Just A1 cycle a little bit. I'm pretending that like this is maybe my first time on stage 21. I could probably just full auto and everything would be fine, but I do want to have refreshed cooldowns here for the second wave, and it just so happens we have refreshed cooldowns as well on Nishak Vermin Lord, so he's just on an absolute tear trying to carry this team all on his shoulders. Get an extra turn again over there. Obviously, I have Relentless on both these champions. And then we have, let's go... Well, we don't need the unkillable right now. We'll save that for the red boss. Red boss is tough. Has the health swap. Let's go in and freeze here. And look at that. 4 out of 5 freezes land. You love to see it. I can just go auto from here on out. Even though, you know, I'm not going to go auto from it. Because one thing you have to be careful about, especially in Faction Wars, I guess it's probably good to mention right now before we get to the red boss, is the counterattack. Mirror Universe is the A2 ability from the Faction War red boss. and he will steal that counterattack if he has that skill on cooldown. So what you might want to do is take it off of auto, or go into team setup and turn off that A3 ability, or lead with the A2, lead with the A1. That way the boss doesn't have it on cooldown, because you do not want the red boss to be stealing counterattack with the AoE on his A1. So that's important, really, whenever, for any team that you go against this version of the red boss, who has the health swap and stealing all buffs. We do not want him to steal the counterattack. That would be very bad. We don't want that. All right, here we go. Finally, against the red boss here. Now we're going to get things going. Start applying some bombs. Decrease attack. Going to apply that hex. And here we go. It's going to be control time. So we can provoke the minions here, which is nice. And we can also, let's go ahead. We do not want to lead with that, but let's just do a little bit of damage and maybe get a freeze down. Now, let's go with just A1 here on Hackhorn. And then here it comes. That's the mirror universe we were talking about there. Did not want that to steal our buffs, so now we can A3. Now we'll have that counterattack. Obviously, counterattack is great with War Master as well, so that's why you might want to prioritize the damage build. We'll put Unkillable here on Gnarlhorn, and then we'll put the shield and the counterattack here now that the A2 Mirror Universe is off cooldown on the red boss. Come in with that A1. Let's go ahead and get that cleanse from Hackhorn Smash Lord. Great to have a cleanser against this version of the boss. Again, what he's doing is stealing all buffs from each enemy, and then giving all his debuffs to your guys, right? And then doing a debuff spread on everybody. Really sucks. So here we go. Let's go A3 again. Unclean Banquet, extra turn, decrease attack, decrease timer. Come in A1 here again. A1's not doing that extra damage as we spoke about, but do we need him to do a lot of damage? His job, primarily, is to basically keep everybody else alive through his amazing control. Obviously, we can use him in every dungeon as well. In the same sort of fashion. We can use him in Doom Tower, especially early game, in Doom Tower floors to control those waves, stop them from buffing themselves and or killing your team. And then in the end game, as I mentioned earlier, we can certainly use this champion in the secret rooms, right? He has magic affinity, so he's good on the magic affinity only rare secret rooms. Can we get in here and prevent him from doing Metal with Fate, his health swap? Let's see. I guess I'm just going to A1 here. Not much, obviously not built for damage, not much damage there. Okay, we need a little bit of something here. Nishak, do your thing, man. Extra turn, come in A1, and let's see. Hackhorn Smash Lord's A3. I would love to see that reworked. I think it's pretty weak, honestly. Let's just go. He's got that. We don't want to go counterattack, but I think he might just die off all these poisons. Let's hope for it, at least. Here we go. A1 again. And die to the poisons, baby. Come on. Yes. There we go. And we get that beautiful, beautiful haste glyph. Give me that speed, guys. Hey, Graybeard is a fantastic champion. You certainly won't know it looking at the stat sheet at the end of the game, right? But again, he's all about control. Again, we mentioned this when we did the Executioner guide. He's a champion that you can slow play, slow roll this champion. You can get him from campaign, take him to level 50, utilize him just for control, book him out slowly just using dupes instead of farming your food again on 12-3, farm it on 4-3 for a little while until you get him fully booked, and eventually, even in the end game, you'll find a use case for him in the Doom Tower hard secret rooms that are magic rare only. Guys, thanks for watching. Let me know if there's any other champions that you saw maybe in today's video you'd like to see a guide for here on the channel. And as always, take care, guys.